Well, good afternoon and welcome to game number 2 of the day for the All-Star edition of Kentucky Middle School Football Association. And this is the 8th grade team. And they're being introduced right now with, they're not introducing them by numbers. They're not lined up. They're introducing them by numbers, Darren, but they're not lined up by numbers out there. They just all came to the line, so no organization there on the lineups. But we'll just do a wide shot so that everybody gets a little camera time. It was the East team defeating the West team in the 7th grade game. The final score in that one was 13-0. And Jones got the MVP of that game, I believe.
Number 71, Callaway.
Yeah, offensive MVP went to Jones.
Number 52, Allen.
Darren Douglas will have the play-by-play for us here coming up here shortly. He's working on some rosters real quick. We're just going to pan. I mean, there's no way that we can get everybody on here, you know, as they introduce them right now. But what we'll do is we'll just pan from right to left so that everybody gets a close-up during the introduction. And Darren Douglas will give you some of those names as we start the game here.
Smith, number 76, Paducah. Trey Allen, number 70, Glasgow.
So this in the white is your East team.
Number 55, South Florida.
Or I'm sorry, is your West team, and the East team is going to be dressed out in the blue.
64, Spencer. Dakota Rodano, number 20, Campbellsville. Molly Sears, number 35, South Warren. Kim Wright, number 5, Jackson. Chris Shelburne, number 34, Spencer. Dylan Penny, number 2, Logan. Elijah Mattingly, number 10, Williamsburg. Karen Lovett, number 36, Callaway. Tristan Wilson, number 32, Drake Street. Cameron Harrison, number 23, South Warren. Alan Jackson, number 60, Graves. Mason Graves, number 81, South Warren. Cole Buchanan, number 11, Bowling Green. Head coach, Mark Carter. Assistant, Wes Atwood, Marlon Hopkins, Butch Patterson, Todd Egler, and Derek Jackson. And here's your West All-Star. For your East, Avery Browning, number 12, Belton. Wiley Kane, number 3, North Pulaski. Noah Taylor, number 7, Carbon. Kristen Vanover, number 2, Elkhorn. James Allen, number 80, JCMS. Javon Bush, number 9, Frankfurt. Levin Campbell, number 14, Knox. Dandre Wright, number 11, Emily. Joe Jackson, number 22, JCMS. Cameron Mogget, number 5, Carver. Elijah Montero, number 6, Emily. Justin Barker, number 32, Belford.
There you have your look of all the All-Stars.
Ethan Smith, number 34, Belford.
And we'll come back after this message
Number 77, PCMS.
for the kickoff of the game.
Brandon Aldridge, number 74.
We return live here from Frankfurt here in just moments, folks.
Number 76, Clark Moore. Bryce Kelly, number 50, passer.
Nice job today.
Thanks, Coach.
Proud of you. We'll get back at it tomorrow. If we lose focus on the field, it could cost us a penalty or even the game. If you lose focus behind the wheel by texting and driving, it costs you a fine or worse, your life. Big Blue Nation, don't text and drive.
There's something special in the air at the University of Louisville. Investment and constant progress are helping today's students and faculty unleash their potential, discover new answers, open more doors, give back to others, see new worlds, and become champions in everything they do. Now, more than ever, it's a great time to be a Louisville Cardinal.
For over 100 years, Russell Athletic has built the uniforms that transform individual athletes into teams. Teams united in passion for the game and unapologetic in their desire to win. Whether you're celebrating a hard-earned championship or heading back to the gym for next season, when teams come together, Russell Athletic will be there, always. I'm Mark Ingram, I wear Russell Athletic, and I play for team.
All S, all P, all O, R, T, S.
See it on the field, if you see it on the court.
Pick it up in all sports, pick it up in all sports.
In Fayette Mall on Facebook and Twitter, locally owned and operated since 1972.
Welcome back here to Kentucky State University Alumni Field. William Warfield, Darren Douglas, he'll have your play-by-play here today as we get this one underway. It's the East-West 8th grade All-Star game. Our Twitter is now open, and we are monitoring it up here in the press box. You can tweet us at PrepSpin, so go ahead and create your tweet with your user account and just tag us by putting at PrepSpin on there and show us how you're watching the game. Take some photos of how you're watching, if you're watching on a laptop or your big screen or wherever you're watching and how you're watching. We like to see pictures of that, so make sure you get those to us. And then the other thing is send out shout-outs to your favorite team, player, coaches. If you want to send a shout-out, we also will get those out on there today as well. You know the game. You know how to play. Just at PrepSpin on Twitter. And with that said, Darren Douglas is in the house. And Darren Douglas, you've got the play call.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to have the captains for the east and west sides. The west side right now, number 3, Miles Smith out of Bowling Green. On your left of your screen, you see the far side. Number 35 is Riley Sears out of South Warren. Number 20 is Dakota Redarno. I'm going to have trouble with that name, I can tell you right now. Out of Campbellsville. And number 84 for the west side is Cameron Kosid out of Taylor County. Those are the 4 captains for the head coach, Mark Carter. His assistants, Wes Atwood, Marla Hoskins, Butch Patterson, Todd Adler, and Derek Jackson. For the head coach, Brent Jackson, to your left there, the east side. Number 57 is Pierce Haynes. Number 22 is Joe Jackson. Number 68 is Eddie Patrick. And number 1 is Mason Lane. Mason Lane representing Shelby Valley in the blue jerseys, as you hear the official giving the head official giving instructions here for game number 2, the 8th grade of the East-West championship, or the East-West All-Star game. Brent Jackson's Corbin Redhounds, winners of the 8th grade Division 2, I believe, right? Is Corbin?
I think so.
But nonetheless, I'm talking about Mason Lane. Shelby Valley is a program, football high school program, that made it all the way to the state semifinals. Okay, they lose last week for the first time ever in school history, going that far, that deep into the playoffs. Of course, Shelby Valley known more for basketball, and the guy by the name of Elisha Justice, pretty fair basketball player, started out of high school, went to the University of Louisville, then transferred to the University of Pikeville. And for all my friends and people that I know up there in Pike County, for you, it's not Pikeville, it's Pikeville. So there, that make you feel better. Pikeville. No, you gotta you don't drag it out. You better say it's Pikeville. That way. So the blue will receive. That's the East squad. And folks, you're in for a treat if you haven't seen the 8th grade version of this, the East-West All-Star game, because there will be some talent on display on both sides, the East and the West.
I'm excited to see this Buchanan fella.
I believe.
Playing for the West side.
Yeah, I believe, and I am not 100% sure. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he is
Bowling Green, I believe.
Yeah, he's from Bowling Green, and I believe he is the son of the head coach at the high school level, I think.
Is that right?
Kevin Wallace.
Okay.
I'm sorry, not the son. He is, oh gosh, there was a kid who played a couple of years ago, the brother. I cannot think of his name. Of course, everybody knows the name of Fant.
Mm-hmm. Well, we got some tweets coming in. What do you think about that? Seth Cordell, he tweeted us his photo of him watching the game. So thank you so much watching on PrepSpin. And then Jane Anise says she wants to send a shout-out to Ben Adams, number 65, and to Noah Back, number 15, in the East-West All-Star game.
Okay, Noah.
I guess that's their jersey numbers.
Well, number 13 is Noah here, Perry County Central. And who was the other shout-out? He's given 65.
Yeah,
don't know.
Like Ben Adams.
Ben Adams, and just for you, Jaden, his number today will be 77. They both are from Perry Central, down in the Hazard area.
All right. Well, let's get this one underway, Darren Douglas.
So back deep for the east side. The near side is Devin Adams. The far side, I cannot tell the number. Kicking it off for the west side is number 84.
Uh-oh.
Actually, that's number 5 for the east side, and that is Cameron Maugret.
Corbin High School, or
Corbin Middle School. Well, they'll be feeding the Red Hounds of Corbin High School, and I want to give a shout out to all our fans, and more specifically the fans who think I rock the world.
Well, you're eating the mic, I know that. So
well, it keeps sliding around on my head. I don't know what that is. Maybe where I got the haircut. I don't know. But a big return from Maugret. And the east side set up. They give it up to Maugret on the wing back around. He spins into West territory, goes inside the 45 to about the 41-yard line.
What do you call that mustache you got on? Is that what they call a cop stash?
Who, me?
Cop
No, I don't have that. Don't have that. Sorry. Of course,
Krista Curry wants to give good luck to her 8th grade Belfry boys.
I recognize the name. Krista, glad to have you along with us this afternoon here in Frankfort.
So
have a block in the back against the east side. Sorry.
Yeah, you just keep talking over me already.
Hey, well, hey, I'm trying to give the fans out there what the call was from the official.
Pirate number 12, Avery Browning.
Quarterback for the Belfry Pirate Middle School Championship football team this year. And here's his counterpart at the quarterback position, Noah Taylor from Corbin. Fakes it, gives it off to the running back. Here's a big hole. He swings it out here to the near side. To the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown East.
Wow.
A 53-yard run from number 22, Joe Jackson from Johnson County Middle School.
Joe Jackson, the double-double, nothing but trouble.
So number 22, Joe Jackson with the first score of the ball game. And it's 6-0 in favor of the east side here in the 8th grade East-West All-Star game. And they're going to kick it, I do believe it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody says, well, they're going to switch the balls out.
They should invite Brittany Menard up in there so she can kick, you know.
It'll be number 68 for the east side. That is Eddie Patrick. It can't be 6. It's 86, it looks like. Hold on, I can't see that number. Can you see it? The kick is up. And the kick is good. A line drive. It's number 88. That's Jonah Atwood out of Paris.
Yes, sir.
So the kick is good. And with 11:21 to play in the first quarter of action, it's the 8th grade East-West All-Star game. The East leads 7-0. Back with the first possession for the West squad on PrepSpin.com.
There's something special in the air at the University of Louisville. Investment and constant progress are helping today's students and faculty unleash their potential, discover new answers, open more doors, give back to others, see new worlds, and become champions in everything they do. Now, more than ever, it's a great time to be a Louisville Cardinal.
Back to Alumni Stadium in the capital city of Frankfort on the campus of Kentucky State University, home of the Thoroughbreds.
Atwood's going to set the kick off.
And Jonah Atwood from Paris Middle School will kick it off. Back deep for the west side is number 84. Well, I've got all kinds of. Atwood hits it deep. It'll bounce at the 5. Picked up by Jordan Fox.
He might have it away there.
Tripped up is number 84 for the west side. That is Cameron Cosit out of Taylor County. He was back deep along with Miles Smith out of Bowling Green. A huge return of 37 yards out to the 42-yard line. That's where the West will set up shop, 1st and 10 for their first possession of this 8th grade East-West All-Star game. Trailing it already 7-0.
Now they're going to keep up with your downs, but they will not keep up with your yards to
so
go.
You'll have to try to listen to us. If you want to try to keep up with it, I'll try to keep up the downs with it, or the yardage.
Yep.
2 receivers to either side. They give it off to Smith, and he's dropped in the backfield. In on the tackle for the east side was number 57, Pierce Haynes, along with number 55. I'm sorry, that's number 56, Frankie Boswell for the east side. A loss of 4 to be 2nd down and 14. They throw it out here to the near side. It is caught. Incomplete. Pass was intended for number 81, Mason Graves out of South Warren. Defending on the play for the east side was number 80, James Allen out of Johnson County. Up in Paintsville, the Golden Eagles, along with the Tigers up there in that county at the high school level, both made it to the second round of the playoffs.
Looks like they may update the to-go yardage for
Okay,
us.
3rd and 14 for the west side. They throw across the middle, and we get a late flag, and probably arriving a little bit early was the defensive back Avery Browning out of Belfry. The pass was complete, however, right at the 49-yard line of the
4th
east.
and 1.
It'll be either 4th and 1 or you go to 3rd. Actually, they mark it off, so it'll be 3rd and a yard. A 15-yard penalty. It was a gain of, actually, what are they going to do here?
4th and 1, right?
Well, it should have been 3rd and about 14. The 15-yard penalty would have given it a first down with the penalty. But I think the West is going to take the play and make it 4th and a yard up. They're going to call it a first down, automatic first down. So they took the penalty. So a first down off the penalty, a pass interference on the East squad. It's 1st and 10 from the East 47-yard line. The quarterback for the West
It's kind of confusing.
is Yukari Baker out of Olmsted Middle School, and I believe that's out of Louisville, if I'm not mistaken. Baker with a running back off to his right. In trouble. He escapes out to the left side. He has room to run. Cuts it back inside the 40, inside the 35, and slung down at the 33-yard line of the East.
Quarterback Baker keeps it, runs for a first down for the West.
A gain of 15, 1st and 10 for the West, who trail it 7-0, 9:28 in the clock running here in the opening quarter of play. East leads it 7-0. New quarterback in. They turn. They give it off to the deep man. Out of the I formation. Miles Smith out of Bowling Green, the carry. New quarterback in out of Paducah Middle School, Malachi Kirby.
Got a bunch of tweets coming in.
Got Zach Crouch. Good luck to Mitch, Malachi, and Allen playing for the West today. Lindsey Smith also just now following us. And she wants to wish 2 guys at the 8th grade All-State football game today, Brady Watkins and Tristan Wilson. They give it off again, this time to the fullback inside. That is number 23 for the West side. That is Cameron Harrison out of South Warren, of course, out of Bowling Green.
I like how Lindsay spells her name there with a Z.
Lindsay
Smith.
rooting on for Tristan Wilson and Brady Watkins, or Bradley Watkins, I should say. 3rd down and 7. It was an illegal procedure on the West squad, but it was denied. Tristan Wilson out of Drake's Creek along with Bradley Watkins. They turn, and again a whistle, and again I think we have a false start on the West side.
It's encroachment, it looks like.
Or we got encroachment on the left, on the East, I should say. Let's see what we got.
That's a dead ball. False start. Number 4, blue.
Again on the West, so back-to-back penalties. This one will.
Correction, that's encroachment on the defense.
Encroachment on the defense.
Still remains 3rd down.
So it's 3rd and 2 from the East 25-yard line. West on their opening drive. They turn, they give it off to Smith. He's hit in the backfield and dropped. May have scrambled forward, and again we have a legal procedure coming up on the offensive unit. So the West or the East coaching staff has a chance to either decline the penalty or Anakin Harris for South Pulaski on the stop for the East squad, and this time Coach Brent Jackson and his staff will take the penalty. Didn't have enough men on the line of scrimmage against the West, so a 5-yard penalty instead of 3rd and short, or 4th and short. It's going to be 3rd and 7 now for the West squad. Receivers to either side, I formation. Behind the quarterback, Kirby in trouble. Throws it incomplete. Just unloading it, but it was almost picked off in the neighborhood for the east side. A couple of defenders, number 1, Mason Lane, and number 80, James Allen. Pressuring the quarterback, Kirby, was Christian Goins out of Elkhorn Middle. Right here, again, out of Frankfort, just up the road here from Kentucky State University.
Brian Hall wants to give a shout-out to his homeboy. He said Tristan Wilson.
And a hard count from the quarterback, Kirby, draws the entire defensive front for the east side, off sides.
Jerome Kelly says good luck to the squad from Paducah playing for the West today. And Mitchell and, how you say that, Malachi?
Malachi,
there you go.
Yeah, Malachi Kirby, the quarterback right now. Kirby settles under center. I formation behind him. Swings out here on the side, tipped and intercepted.
Yes, it was.
Intercepted by number 51, Zach Chandler out of Jefferson County Traditional Middle School. And the East gets the first turnover of the ball game. The play was forced by number 4, Anakin Harris out of South Pulaski. And we have an injured East player, and it looks like Goins out of Elkhorn. Tell you what, I'm going to talk about Anakin Harris here out of South Pulaski. Where's number 4 in blue? Possibly his parents could have been
Star Wars fan.
Been a fan of Star Wars. But I will tell you this, I've watched him this whole defensive series for the East.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go back to my Georgia. You give me a hard time about going back to my Georgetown College roots where I call ball games now. He reminds me of a guy who graduated a year ago in 2014, but he was a three-time NAIA All-American, 2-time Mid-South Conference Defensive Player of the Year, and was the National Defensive Player of the Year his senior year by the name of Brock Messina. Now, Messina led the nation at any level with tackles for a loss. Get ready for this. Are you ready? 33 tackles for a loss his senior year.
That's pretty big time.
So if you're an offensive coordinator, you had to scheme for him. But if you watched him between plays, and this is what I'm going to point out. I want everybody at home to watch number 4 in blue. Constantly moving, pacing, like a caged tiger, ready to just pounce. Brock Messina was that way.
About boxing, brother.
But no, he was just pacing all over. You know,
I'm a hornet, and I'm backed up in the corner, and I'm gonna sting you.
And Anakin Harris reminds me a lot of Brock Messina. Now, he's not as big yet. You know, he's got about 6 years to go until he gets as big as Messina was, because Messina was about 6'2", about 220 pounds, 225 pounds. But you had a game plan for him. And number 4 in blue has some mannerisms on the football field that reminds me of Brock Messina. That's pretty high praise. So a turnover on the interception by Chandler. Goins is okay, walks off the field under his own power. And we go wishbone formation. Taylor, the quarterback, turns, fakes it, looks right, rolls right, throwing deep. He has a man open, overthrows him. Looking for Blevin Campbell out of Knox Central. And just overthrew him.
Taylor's pass was intended for number 14, Campbell. Incomplete, bringing up second down and 10.
And that's the one thing about Brent Jackson. Watched him in the 4 years I've covered this. His Corbin teams, both 7th and 8th grade, have been in those state Final Fours.
Mm-hmm.
He will run some shotgun, which he is right now with 2 backs to either side of the quarterback, Taylor. Fakes it. Taylor off the right side. Cuts it back up the middle inside the 45 to the 40-yard. They're going to mark him at the 41. Gain of 14, 1st and 10 for the East All-Stars, dressed in the blue jerseys this afternoon. Noah Taylor playing in the All-Star game for his head coach, Brent Jackson. For all the fine folks down in Corbin, We would love to come down and cover a high school football game in that environment. I've heard a lot about it. Haven't been down there. Would love to come down.
I want some of that tailgating down there is what I hear about.
Taylor rolling right, looking deep. He has a man open. That is Evans. Caught!
Yes.
Devin Adams with another great catch. And I tell you, Devin Sams, I should say. And I apologize to the folks back home in Corbin. I should know that young man's name because that's the young man who made that one-handed grab. And that one, not as acrobatic, but still a nice catch from Devin Sams.
Hashtag, what is that? Hashtag, what is that?
Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't know what I'm saying. Hashtag, nice catch.
Nice catch, okay. Well, I tell you what, we have a defensive holding on the west side, but I tell you what, Devin Sams, a very nice young man. I got to talk to him and his parents last night after the banquet. Every time I said something, yes, sir, no, sir, thank you, sir, I appreciate it, sir. Very well-mannered kid and a very talented athlete, as you can see. And a nice throw from his middle school teammate, Noah Taylor.
I can see that.
Well, you can see I got to meet Noah as well and a couple other teammates from Corbin. And I tell you what, you can see the influence their head coach, their coach today, Brent Jackson, has on that football program. Very well-mannered kids, all of them. They turn. They give it off to Sam, sweeping left side, cut it up, touchdown East. $13-0 in favor of the East Side here with 6:03 to play in the first half of action.
Sam's going to come out, it looks like.
And they're going to put in another quarterback, number 2, Christian Vanover out of Elkhorn Middle School here in Frankfort. He'll be the new quarterback here for the two-point conversion. They have shotgun formation. Jackson to his right and to his left. As they throw back here to the near side, it's dropped by DeAndre Wright out of Eminence. The other young man, Elijah Montero, also out of Eminence Middle School. So the pass incomplete for the two-point conversion. But with 6:03 to play in the first quarter, East leads at 13-0.
Let's give out some trivia out there today.
Okay.
After we thank our sponsors, of course, we want to thank Dallin Dental of Nicholasville and Harrodsburg for being a sponsor on the network. We also want to thank Brown, Frost, and Todd for sponsoring the Kentucky Middle School Football Association. And we also want to thank the Kentucky Center for Orthodontics, home with Drs. Durbin, Wong, and Gardner, and American Sign and Lighting.
Did you get Brown, Frost, and Todd?
We got Brown, Frost, and Todd.
FBU?
Football University, want to thank them as well.
All sports?
All sports. If you see it on the field and you see it on the court, pick it up at All Sports.
Well, 13-0 in favor of the team in blue. That's the East squad this afternoon.
And if you see Darren Douglas wearing it, you can get it at the thrift store.
Oh, man. Folks, you see who's shooting the first shot across the bow. I've been on my best behavior today.
Oh, I love you, man. I love you, brother.
Uh-huh. Jordan Atwood to kick off again. He hits this one. Comes down to Smith here on the near side at the 5. Straight up the near side. Cuts it out to the right. Steps over a tackler over the 30 to about the 34-yard line.
Hey, I only say that because I have no idea what that rug is you were wearing when you came in this press box earlier today. What was that?
That's called a Georgetown College jacket. And, again, if it's free, you have an obligation to wear it. Judy Sylvie tweeting us here, saying watching at PrepSpin and ringing my cowbells for Chandler, Sylvie, number 9, Nate Woodall, number 6, and DP Pennick, number 2, all from Logan County. I'll have to, Judy, I'll have to give you those numbers for their numbers they're wearing today. That may not be the numbers they're wearing here in the East-West game today. A quarterback, again for the West, it's Yukari Baker, who throws incomplete, looking for number 7, Aquan Terrell out of Moore Middle School, of course, out of Louisville.
April Hensley says that she wants She's wishing Justin Barker and Avery Browning and
Ethan
Smith. Pirates.
All from Belfry Middle School.
Well, you're talking about great tailgating. We heard about Belfry. We can't wait to
hit up that way
take
either.
part of that.
Yeah.
Of course, they're playing in the state on
I gained
Friday.
5 pounds from probably our biggest fan out of Belfry up there as they give it off to the deep man. That is number 5 for the West Side.
Who's Belfry get Friday?
Hang on a minute. That's Kim Wright out of Johnson on the carry. Belfry.
Mm-hmm. Class 3A.
Class 3A, and that is, I believe, the first game of the day on Friday at noon time Eastern Standard Time. How about the Yellow Jackets of Louisville Central?
Is that who they
These
got?
two are no stranger to each other.
Okay.
And I'm picking that will be the best game of the 6. Kirby back to throw. He throws deep, looking for his receiver out there, and
The Highlands Owensboro game is going to be no contest.
I don't think so. Unfortunately for the Red Devils of Owensboro, he's looking for number 84. That was Cameron Cosett out of Taylor County, trying to draw a flag as he flailed his arms, but no, the official was not buying that, and the West will punt it away. Number 12 for the white-clad West team, Chance Staten out of Somerset will be the punter. Back deep for the East Side is number 80, James Allen out of Johnson County.
He's back there. He's like, let me holler at y'all players.
The wind has not been a factor. And this one kicked away from Allen, who will down it right there at the 30-yard line. So the East already up 13-0 with 5:07 to play in the opening quarter of play here. Their offense will trap back out on the field. Let's see who's at quarterback as they come back out here. It'll be number 2, Christian Vanover out of Elkhorn Middle.
T. Ralston following us. Thank you so much, T.
Judy, I'm trying to find those numbers for you right now, so hang on. They're following the Logan County, and we have an officials timeout on the field right now. I think we got a coach that's having to jog across the field to check on the young man. But let's see here. Looking for Nate Woodall. Woodall is number 6 today. I think that's what you got with us. We do. Pennick is number 2, so you got the numbers there. So here comes the East offense. Twin receivers to both sides. The running back to the right of the quarterback, Vanover. Turns, throws it out to the right side. Caught across the 35, across the 40 to the 41, maybe the 42-yard line. That's number 84 for the East side. Jordan
Corbin.
Fox out of Corbin.
Another Red Hound up in the game. Red Hounds represented well here today.
Oh, yeah. Champions of their division. And again, I'll harken back to the catch by Devin Sams back in that semifinal game against Bowling Green. An outstanding catch. Won't find it any better. They give it off on the crossbuck action to number 6, Elijah Montero out of Eminence. Give him about 8 yards on the play to midfield. It'll be 2nd down and 2. On the tackle over there for the West.
Bradley Wolf is saying rooting for Dylan DP. Pennick, number 2 on the West squad out of Olmsted.
Let's see, they give it off to the running back. That is number 22, Joe Jackson out of Johnson County. Off the left side, goes down to the 40-yard line of the West, and it's 1st and 10 for the East. On the stop is Chris Bush out of South Warren for the West side. Adam Stepp says give a shout out to the Belfry boys from Adam Stepp at Madison Central High School. Watching. His team in the 7th grade practice.
Not sure what that last part of that tweet
I
means.
guess it's basketball, maybe. Vanover in trouble, and down he goes. In on the stop for the west side is number 20. Came untouched from the left side, Dakota Redarno out of Campbellsville.
Is it Redarno or Ronaldo?
Redarno, I think.
Redondo on the tackle.
Redarno.
Okay.
For a loss of 10.
Pretty good guess. A loss of 10 back to midfield. 2nd down and 20 for the east side.
Remember, folks, if you got the YouTube player up, you got that little tool. It looks like a circle with some notches in it. Click on that, and you can upgrade your quality to HD. If you're watching it in standard right now, upgrade your quality in HD just simply by clicking that and saying 720p.
Montero on the carry for the east side. Tackle by number 76, Gregory Smith out of Paducah. One of the defensive linemen for the west side. And it'll be 3rd and about 17 for the east. Shotgun formation, 2 receivers near side, 1 back to the right. They give it off to Jackson from Johnson County. Ran into Montero's a little miscommunication in the backfield.
Do a little stutter step.
Got a couple of yards. In on the stop for the west side, number 55, Pete Cross of South Warren. Along with number 20, Redono for the west.
On the defense, number 55, Cross.
So it'll be 4th down and about 14.
Yeah, and then they're not keeping, again, the to-go yards up there for us.
Well, they were early. Now they just
They decided not to, I guess.
And timeout east, as Coach Brent Jackson will call timeout. Again, we want to tell you, you can catch a couple of highlights off of our YouTube page.
Subscribe to us on YouTube, folks, if you don't mind. And, we're trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers. I think we got a little bit over 400 right now on there. But definitely subscribe to us on there, and then tweet us. So, follow us on Twitter.
Well, we're coming to you from the capital city of Frankfort on the campus of Kentucky State University. And again, I mentioned this in the 7th grade game, William. If you've never experienced a ball game at a predominantly black college here in Kentucky, you are blessed with one right here in Central Kentucky, the Kentucky State University, and especially the halftime shows.
Well, he's predominantly black, like you said, but my homeboy Steve Tressler went to this very
That's
school.
what I'm saying. Well, I said traditionally black, all black college, and that's where they got their start. They turn, give it off to Jackson, breaks the tackle to 38, again into the open field. 15, 10, 5, touchdown East. Just a little delayed handoff.
That is second
And
of the day, right?
Yeah, a broken tackle at the 32-yard line. And then Jackson knows what to do with it when he gets into the open field. He takes it to the house, and it's 19-0 in favor of the East.
See if they go for 2 here. Or did this?
Now they're going for
They're
1.
going to go for 1, aren't they?
Going to kick it with a guy who showed he's got a really nice leg in Jonah Atwood out of Paris. He had a line drive a minute ago, but snaps a good one and hits his center right in the backside. That's not a pleasant feeling, I can tell you.
That's not the right kind of field goal.
No, sir. That hurts. So with 1:46 to play in the opening quarter of the 8th grade East-West All-Star game. It's the East 19, the West nothing. I've got a couple more tweets coming in. April Hensley out of, that's Belfry, correct?
Yep.
Watching the Belfry boys play. Team plays 7th grade football practice at Madison Central High School. Okay. Adam Stepp tweeting in again to let us know that. Dorothy Bush also just now joining us on PrepSpin. We appreciate that.
You got
there we go. Got the officials' names now. We're going to give them a shout out here too in just a second. That way it helps us, because these guys are out here pretty much volunteering their time on a Sunday afternoon.
Got Mr. Greg Mitchell up here in the box with us, and
Oh, is that who snuck in behind me?
yes, sir.
Okay, we're okay. As long as it wasn't Trester, we're okay. I can handle Mr. Mitchell behind me. He'll be putting on the headsets here in just a second. I tell you what, the officials for today's game: the head man, the man in the white hat's Dan Sally, the umpire Dan Griffith, the linesman is Mike Moritz, the line judge Chris Fields, the back judge is Martin Horton. They've been here for both games this afternoon. Kick comes down to Smith at the 12. And, boy, for the second time in 2 days, I've seen a kickoff fielded with a knee on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Greg Mitchell joining us up here in the press box. And, Greg, this is the 5th year that William's been you've actually not been doing this. It's 7 years, but the 5th year we've been a part of it, and really the 4th year that it's just been me and William here. And we enjoy it every time we've been here. And we have a better day today, though, than we had for the last 3 times I've been here.
Oh, it's a great day. It's not raining. We don't have mud in the middle of the field like we had
it's
one year.
It's not snowing.
Not snowing. We've had all kinds of weather.
And
so it's about one of the pleasantest days we've had.
Yeah, people will ask, how did you come up with this idea? But you said last night at the banquet that, these kids down at this level deserve a state championship type playoff. And that's pretty much what set the things in motion.
Well, we when I was coaching middle school, started asking stupid questions like who regulated middle school football, and determined there really wasn't anybody. So one thing led to another, and I started reaching out and asking some stupid questions is what's other people do, and one thing led to another. We had Coach Bass, it's one of our board members, it's captain down at the Jefferson County Fire Department who volunteered his time, and then we got a number of other volunteers, and we started putting things together. Went down to the Nike Clinic. They loaned us a room, got a bunch of high school coaches, middle school coaches together, and put some presentation on, said, how about we come up with something, and the association was born. So one thing led to another after that, and we do a state championship, and then we do this East-West game. We reached out to the universities and got middle school 7-on-7 and tried every way to improve the availability of opportunity for kids that really love football.
Well, you saw Yukari Baker out of Olmsted, and the neat thing is you bring them all from all over the state here. You got, guys all the way down from Paducah all the way up to Belfry up in Pike County. You got people all the way up in northern Kentucky with Union. You got them all the way down in southern Kentucky with South Laurel, Wayne County, Pulaski. I mean, just all over. And I think it makes for a nice environment. And we talk about all the stuff you did. We can't thank the Civic Center down here in Frankfort enough for what they do on Friday night or Saturday night for the banquet.
We've had a lot of people in this community step up and give of their time and their dedication and effort. And we were talking the other night, remembering when William and good friend Steve Tressler drive all the way down to Missouri when Kentucky went down and faced Missouri for the first time in FBU's national tournament, and we won. We were playing on the field with a huge jumbotron, and it was quite an amazing experience, and especially coming away with a win.
I was actually online watching, and I think I was supposed to make that trip, and something came up personally that I had to take care of, and couldn't make the trip and was a little jealous, especially after they won.
Followed these guys all the way down to San Antonio.
Yeah, you've been to San Antonio. You've been to the Alamo Dome. We have a penalty against the West Side, who, like their 7th grade counterparts, Greg, having a real tough time offensively right now getting started. Of course, you have that, especially early in All-Star games.
We do, but you see the kids going out there, and I watched the 7th grade, the parents and coaches getting together after the first game, and everybody said what a great experience they had and wonderful memories. And fathers who have had other children, older children, participate, and it's good when you hear the same type of thing stated, that the kids played and they have memories of a lifetime, and they still are good friends with the teammates they developed from this event.
Well, the East squad is going to be in the West territory again, and like most All-Star games, you don't rush the punter, and you get punt returns and things like that, because it's just too tough to coach special teams, offense and defense in such a short period of time. So the East squad possibly has an advantage over the West squad because head coach Brent Jackson has several members of his Red Hounds on this ball club. So the lingo's not too hard to understand.
He's running a tight ship.
He does, doesn't he? They give it off to, I believe this is number 34, and boy, that was a hit or be hit by number 34. That was Ethan Smith out of Belfry. And, you know, William and I have talked in the past on broadcast, Greg. You see the teams that constantly seem to make deep runs into the playoffs at the high school level, making runs here in this. Belfry is one of those. Bowling Green's another. They run the same style offense their high schools do, so those kids are familiar with it from 6th grade on up.
You see the organization, you see the feeder system,
Right.
you see the development, and it's not surprising why you have good football.
Incomplete pass. The new quarterback into the ball game is Wiley Kane out of North Pulaski Middle School, and I judge on looking at the helmets, I would assume North Pulaski feeds Pulaski County.
You think so?
I would think so, just by looking at the helmet there. You can purchase DVDs as well as photos here online, and we get them. We got a lot of tweets coming in today, Greg. So they give it off to Montero, swinging around the right side on the jet sweep. Can't get free. Breaks free, though. Here he comes back to the right. He's got a whole lot of room here on the near side. 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, and caught and dropped inside the 5 at the 3-yard line by number 48 for the West Side. And got to look down here on my roster. I was writing them down. That was Alex Wright of Spencer County got him. And then Montero with a nice run out of Eminence High School, who, by the way, for folks that aren't aware of this, for a long time under Steve Frommeyer, who's now the head coach at the high school, they played 8-man football. For the longest time, just here in the last 5 years, they've gone to 11-man football.
Small community, still wanting to love to play football.
And I tell you what, it is a beautiful community. I went down there several times, and if you want to go back into the old times, go back to Eminence because it has some of the old hometown feel.
Talk about how they can order the DVDs.
Well, I tell you what, will they get them online here, or through you guys?
There's an order form.
Where's the order form?
It's on all the websites.
There you go.
All right.
You're the one that knows about this. Me and Greg are looking at you like, huh?
Yeah, sorry about that. No, I just wanted to promote the photos. You can go to mesmerphotos.com.
There you go.
And get photos. I believe he said that he had some digital downloads for very reasonable. So make sure you get on there. A lot of action shots of today's games as well as the tournament that happened at Lexington Catholic and Bryan Station on the first and second, or was it second and third? Anyway,
somewhere in there.
First week of November when the tournament was. Got so much stuff going on, it's hard to keep up with everything. But you can get great action shots right there from mesmerphotos.com, and then the Kentucky Middle School Football Association has DVDs that are available. Full game DVDs and some content that you won't see online that'll be on some of those DVDs that you can get by ordering a DVD, and you can do that through the Kentucky Middle School Football Association's iHigh website or through their Facebook's got a link to the form as well. So I'll hand this back over to Greg Mitchell.
The thing about it, William and Greg, you look at the size of some of these kids. When we were coming through playing, we were nowhere near this big. Would you agree? I mean, some of these kids, and it's not your screens, folks. Some of these kids are that big.
What I like to say is there's football in Kentucky has a lot of opportunities. Actually, more opportunities in other states. We're the one state in the nation that has a middle school football state championship.
Yeah.
And other states are envious.
Yeah.
We have caught up in doing middle school 7-on-7, and as we can see, we have 3 Kentucky teams competing in the national tournament put under by FBU as part of that U.S. All-American Bowl.
Montero completes the big run he made a moment ago. One play later, he goes in from 2 yards out. So it's now 25-0 in favor of the East Side. And I tell you what, Montero in this game, a couple of kids on both sides in the 7th grade game. The names elude me right now. Show you don't have to be very big to play this game. We talk about how the size of some of these kids have changed over the years, but you still can be diminutive in play this game?
I don't think it's about the size. I think it's about the
That
heart
ticker?
and the
Yeah.
dedication.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Your son Noah, he's a perfect example.
Yeah,
Of that.
well, and we all probably ran across some guys that are probably undersized that they flat get the best out of their talent. Here's a throw out to the left side for the 2-point conversion, and that's from out to Bush from Javon Bush out of Frankfurt High, who we all know Coach Craig Foley at Frankfurt High, who's had a pretty good, solid career over the last 6 years with that Frankfurt team. Unfortunately, keeps running into Beechwood.
Yeah, but you can see what they've done with a small little community
Yeah.
school that have competed at such a high level. And I remember when Coach Hawkins was one of our board members and really came up with this concept of East-West, coached at Frankfurt.
Yeah, his son was a quarterback who actually got some coaching up of Jared Lorenzen, so therefore he wore the number 22, and he was a bigger kid that played quarterback that had a whole lot of the same mannerisms as the hefty lefty.
He did, but they worked hard, developed.
He's
and
playing
you could
college
see-
ball someplace, isn't he?
Yeah.
I can't remember where. though.
College of Mount St. Joseph.
That's it.
Well, Belfry's going to represent you guys very well in the state game on Friday.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, we were talking about that. We have so many people from different parts of the state that are representing as we get the kickoff here. Comes down to Smith, bounces at the 25, picks it up, heads to the left side, gets a block, has a crease, cuts it back up along the hash mark, gets out over the 40 to the 42-yard line. On the stop for the east side was number 51, Zach Chandler from Jefferson County Traditional. We talk about Belfry. Most of those kids on that varsity roster went through this.
Yeah.
Not only All-Star game, but that
State
playoff
championship,
system.
playoffs.
And also won some of them. You got the Williamsburg Ball Club. Most of that senior group
They all
was
were
on
here.
the seventh grade championship team here. Michael Dalton Creekmore, or Michael Rose Creekmore now. It used to be Michael Dalton Rose. When he got to high school, it changed the different to the last name. But then Skylar Griffith, a lot of those guys from that Williamsburg team too. So a lot of guys to be proud of that came through here.
Well, now we're starting to see the kids that are going on to play college ball. You see a number of ones that are top of the national recruiting, not just in the state, but national recruiting, that are playing at the highest level and going to play at the highest level.
As you hear me may pause. Okay. That's what I thought you were writing down. I have to look at Williams' writing because my writing's terrible, but Williams is probably the worst I've ever seen. So I have to stop and get my refocus. We'll talk about this after this play here, Greg. New quarterback in for the west side. They turn and give it off to, that is Renardo. I'm going to have trouble with that. The new quarterback is number 23, Cameron Harrison out of South Warren for the west side. And here's the one thing I was talking about with this.
Yeah, we went down. That was the first year.
Is these kids come through this here on the sidelines as we look at Noah Taylor one minute, but these kids come through here, but these coaching staffs do a great job of getting everybody in some shape, form, or fashion throughout the game, not just at certain points, but pretty much throughout the game. That's tough to do.
We ask all the coaches to recognize that this is meant to be an all-star game. Everybody out here has been selected to participate and are obviously capable of participating, good football players, and everybody should get a lot of playing time today.
Harrison hooks up with his old middle school teammate on a completed pass to Mason Graves, the tight end, number 81. Gain of about 5. It'll be 4th down and 5, or actually we'll call it 4. High formation behind Harrison. And this is going to be interesting. I think the defensive lineman broke the plane into the neutral zone before the offensive guard jumped. So this is when I'm glad I don't wear one of those striped shirts down there, because you got to decide. And then you got half the crowd going to be mad at you, and the other crowd's going to be happy. So it's offsides on the defense. So an automatic 1st down for the West as they move to the 47-yard line of the East. Now, last night you had a Hall of Fame induction. Brent Jackson, the head man for Corbin, who is the head man here today for the East squad, inducted.
Yeah.
And I got to meet several of his players and parents after the banquet last night, including Devin Sams, who made probably the highlight catch of the playoffs. and I'm still mad at ESPN for not picking it up in the top 10. It should have been there somewhere. Whistle, and we have either offsides or illegal procedure. Let's see.
They tweeted it.
They did well, but it should have been on the national television too. Sorry, I'm just saying. Offsides on the defense, so 3-5 yards to the West. But he makes another one today. But every kid I met, it was always yes sir, no sir, thank you sir, appreciate it sir. Very well mannered kids, very well spoken kids, but a direct reflection of their head man.
Yeah, and that's why you see. Peers, Coach Jackson, very much respect him and respect that program.
Matter of fact, everybody on his staff currently at Corbin played for him,
yeah.
Which is an interesting. It either means two things. One is they respect him, come back and teach, or number two, he's been around a long time.
Well, and we're glad we finally got him out here to volunteer his time, come out here and coach.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, he is an outstanding coach, but has many opportunities to do other things. When you all read off his resume at the banquet last night, it took about 5 minutes.
Yeah,
and I'm sure it's probably a little longer than that. I didn't time it, but
there was a longer version.
A lot of stuff there was. So who got the chore of condensing it down some? Was that fall to you, or did that fall to one of the other staff members?
No, I'm proud to say Jamie Howe, the East-West coordinator, had all that pleasure.
They tried to run the flanker screen, Harrison to the back to one of his quarterback mates, Malachi Kirby, incomplete.
Is that Corbin coach, the Hall of Famer coach that was inducted last night?
Yes.
Does he have any relationship with the guy that's in the movie 23 Blast at all?
Not sure.
Yeah, for those that don't know, I believe the young man's first name is Noah Freeman. I know his last name's Freeman. There was a movie made of him, a young man who lost his eyesight at an early age. They talked to him about playing football. He wanted to play football. His parents finally relinquished the time to let him play. There's a movie that was premiered here just about 2 months ago as they give it off to the deep man. I think that's Montero again, but I'm not sure. Yep, Montero. Nope. Now, see, this young man's they're going to kill me with it. That's Kim Wright on the tackle, or on the carry, sorry. But he lost his eyesight, and that just shows you the kind of time and effort communities, big and small, give to young people. Because here's the thing I didn't know. For 4 years, he was a manager at the University of Kentucky.
That's
in charge
impressive.
of the water, and the coaching staff held him in the same accountability as they did all the other ones, and he didn't ask for any quarter. He gave none and accepted none.
You can accomplish anything in your lifetime if
That's
you
it.
put the effort in.
And things like this is what shows young men and women.
Hopefully. That's
You know,
right.
You know, you had your first young lady, Brittany Menard, in the 7th grade game kicking extra points to the first female to ever play in this game, but not only do that, she got a point.
She did. Wasn't that special?
And
That's
a
really
nice
special.
leg. I'd heard she had a great leg, and
Yeah.
I was very much impressed with her.
I heard she barely missed the 35
She
yarder.
did, into the wind. I made it
Just
tough.
barely. The wind's really
Yep.
blowing hard.
What would your best advice be for young athletes looking to play football, Greg?
Well, be willing to put the hard work and dedication in, and no matter whether it's football or anything else, have a passion for something and put the time in. It takes hard work, dedication, perseverance.
Harrison, not a big quarterback. He got sandwiched between a couple of big fellas. That hurt me from up here. I used to play quarterback and everything. Matt Horn out of Johnson County, along with number 77 for the east side. That is Ben Adams out of Perry Central. Or at least that's the number I've got here. That's not him. That's 57. Pierce Haynes. That hurts me. As a former quarterback, I feel sorry for these quarterbacks.
Oh, that felt good.
You must have played defense.
I'm a defensive coordinator guy, you know.
You must have played defense, too.
I did. I love defense. Offense would just simply go out and hit somebody on the other side of the ball.
Well, those that know me know that I'm not the pretty boy Tom Brady type looking quarterback, you know. Timeout for the west side. But, Greg, just to finish some of the thoughts that we were talking about earlier, you know, the banquet last night, very well done. It wasn't extravagant, but I think one of your staff members got up on the podium and said, it's over. We're done for the night. Kind of shocked we're over that early. And I've been to many banquets that seem to drag on and on, but you guys got a format and you hit it, and it's all about the kids, and that's it.
We try to make it that way. We have done different formulas, and we all have our different views of what we like better than most. And last night was an effort to make sure it was all about the kids and a little bit about us speaking.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they took away what was intended. Parents got a lot of opportunity to take good pictures.
You know, I got an opportunity, like I said, to talk to a lot of parents and kids after the banquet, and it was neat to meet most of the folks that came up to me from the Corbin area. But I also got to meet Tanner Evans' parents from out of Louisville, and I know Tanner through Georgetown College, as he's the backup quarterback. Now will be a senior come the fall in 2015. So I got to meet them, and they were happy to understand, to know that I had, come down and done some middle school stuff, but that I knew their son Tanner as well. So it all goes full circle, even in this business.
It's good to hear.
Here's a screen pass into the middle, caught by Smith, and he's dropped immediately by Matt Horn, along with number 35. That's Jordan Phipps out of Knox Central. So the two of those guys. I watched some of these guys down here. Like they said, they got size, but they just walk like football players.
Greg, talk to us a little bit about you guys are obviously putting together a team that's going to compete for the football university national championship. That's going to be down in Naples. Give us some information on that and what you guys' plans are.
Baker back in at quarterback, running wide right, eludes a tackler, throws high for his receiver on the far side. That's number 84, Cameron Kosid out of Taylor County. Incomplete. It'll be fourth down.
Well, part of our effort of the association we've tried to do is provide opportunities for kids, much like basketball. They got AAU, they've got the McDonald's All-American, they've got all the different things. So we partnered up with Football University as part of the U.S. Army All-American Bowl. And the first couple years, we sent players down in the first events when they were organizing middle school football. A number of our coaches have coached down there in the All-American games. For instance, William mentioned Kyle Boland. Kyle Boland participated in the first-year unlimited 8th grade game down there as part of the Army All-American Bowl week. My son Noah got to play. He played with Sony Michel, who's now starting at Georgia.
Also, just come to mind, Coach Philip Hawkins is Hall of Famer in your organization here too.
He is. Coach Hawkins is also coached as head coach down at the Army All-American Bowl for the both 7th grade and 8th grade unlimited. Coach Bass is one of our board members, coached as an assistant coach on one of the teams. We've had Drake Jackson, which is one of the #1 recruits. I understand he was down at the Alabama game last night.
Yep.
On the sidelines, played in that event. He also was on our first
You've seen him
Kentucky
play in high
team.
school. I've seen him play in high school, and
had the pleasure of coaching him.
he's a big fella.
He's a big fella, but one thing everybody has to understand, we're trying to, yesterday, talking to the players and the parents about the work ethic that it takes. I know the time and attention that's put in. It's not about size. It's about technique. It's about the work ethic. It's about in the weight room. It's about in the classroom. You got to be a complete
He's got the
package.
full package. Yeah.
You got to be the complete package.
Here's a give off to McGuett. Coming around the right side, down the right sideline, steps inside, goes all the way for an East touchdown. He goes 54 yards, and it's 33-0 in favor of the East side. And you can just tell with all he's got about 6 Red Hounds that he's coaching throughout the last 3 or 4 years that Coach Jackson taking advantage of it. But he's got some talent to work with down there too.
He's got some talent.
And it didn't hurt too bad. He's a pretty good coach too. So,
having coached on the opposite side of him, he's a pretty good coach.
I would give you a headache. I guarantee you, with all the different formations he runs with his ball club at Corbin, it would be a headache as a defensive coordinator to prepare for him.
Oh, it's actually a pleasure because
Really?
you got a good coach, good team on the other side. Makes
But
for
many
good
sleepless
competition.
hours leading up to that game if you're going up against him.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And boy, I tell you, here's another young man with a really good leg. He just sneaks that one in. I think it might have hit the upright and gone through. And Atwood with his second extra point of the day, and it's 34-0 in favor of the East 8th grade side here in Frankfort. And we talk about Kyle Bolin, and as a fan, you want to see young men you knew grow up real well. And you were talking at the banquet last night. You were kind of torn. You wanted to see him do well, but in Lexington, you wanted to see Kentucky do well too, and it was tough.
It was very tough being a UK graduate. It was very tough, but having coached Kyle. It was you can't go against your players.
That's true.
I can tell you can't go against your players.
I've done that before. I've run into a situation at Georgetown where I was a Georgetown alum myself, and I coached a couple of kids that went down to Campbellsville University to play them. And when Georgetown came to town, I would make sure I looked them up and wanted them to do well.
Yeah.
But I wanted Georgetown to win, being the alum, and I was torn. It was tough. Comes down to Kosid here on the 5. Angles off to the left side. Looking for a crease. Gets a block. Gets up over the 25 to about the 26, maybe the 27-yard line. In on the stop for the east side is number 12, Avery Browning. And that's one of those Belfry fellas.
But we, as William was saying about our Kentucky teams, on the goal associations to provide opportunities. So we like to think that Kyle Bolin got an opportunity last night, and then he took advantage of it. We've had.
Of course, he couldn't find his helmet though when he called his name.
That
happens,
right? That happens.
Because you're used to having the clipboard or a helmet, and you're signaling in plays, and you don't know where your helmet is.
And
the manager who was probably responsible for it set it down somewhere.
But you never know when you get your shot. Take advantage of it.
True, and you got to be always ready. You're always one snap away. Isn't that what all the coaches always say? Back into quarterback is Baker for the west side. Lofts it down the near side. Incomplete. Couldn't tell if he was looking for number 7, Aquan Terrell of Moore, or was he looking for number 36, Garrett Levitt of Callaway County? Couldn't, kind of landed between the two of them. William, it looks like we got some tweets coming in there. See what he thinks for Greg here on those tweets there.
On the defense.
Got defensive holding on the east, so it'll be 1st and 10 on the automatic first down on the 10-yard penalty against the east. It'll be 1st and 10 for the west side. Well, and you're talking about opportunities, Greg, especially, even though they're here at the 7th grade and 8th grade levels, their high school coaches in their local areas get to see them play in a very, competitive level against guys of their own equal abilities. Whereas now, not only that, but all the opportunities at the college level. You got UK and U of L, whose programs are on the uptick. You got, of course, Georgetown and Cumberland's and Campbellsville and Lindsey Wilson and Pikeville and Union. All these NEI teams. And, of course, you got Kentucky State and Kentucky Wesleyan, and I think Northern's getting a football team now, and Thomas More. So you got all these opportunities for football players. They don't have to play necessarily at the Division I level. No,
and as we tried to tell parents and players yesterday each division has its own positives and what you want out at the next level. There's an opportunity to do it if you make sure you're taking care of business in the classroom and do what it's necessary to put the time and effort into football.
Baker swings it out to Smith in the flats. He has the first down at the 45 into East Territory at the 48-yard line. He lost his shoe, so he'll have to probably try to slip it back on. I can never do that with it still tied. I'd have to untie it and pull it up. And could you do that too? Just slip it right back on after it came off?
Not me.
Not me. I wasn't coordinated enough.
You played Texas high school football.
Hey, Texas, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, all that football's pretty good down there in the South. Where did you play at high school down there in Texas, Greg?
I spent 1 year at the Marine Military Academy down in the Rio Grande Valley in Harlingen.
Ooh.
So I had to experience playing Port Arthur, and that taught me about Texas football.
And if you don't know about Port Arthur, just get online and Google them. You'll find out exactly who they are. There's several programs down there. They threw it. Ineligible receiver is, of course, most linemen, what are they taught? Ball gets in your hands, take a knee or hit the ground. You don't run with it unless.
He stood still.
He did. Well, the young man, you can tell the young man has been taught very well. Because, most linemen are athletic, just don't have the hands to hold on to the football sometimes, and that's why it's fun to watch. So Ball was complete, but it was an ineligible receiver touching, or an illegal touching is what they'll call.
Illegal touching by a lineman on the offense.
And Baker, I tell you what, just like the 7th grade game, the East defense has put the West offense under a tremendous amount of pressure. So as a defensive coordinator, you love it. You're eating this up.
You should.
Well, I was an old offensive coordinator, so I'm a little frustrated, but hey, you know, it's the way it goes. Sometimes you have good days, sometimes you have bad days. Baker back in the shotgun formation, second and extremely long for the West. Again, under pressure. Slips away from the first tackler, but not, well, he did get away from Harris.
That's some aggressive football.
And I tell you what, I'm sitting here watching number 4, and actually he's not on the field. Right? Yeah, he is. Number 4 for the East squad from South Pulaski, Anakin Harris. And I compared him to a guy who I covered last year at Georgetown College, and Brock Messina. He just never stops. He's pacing around between snaps. He's just like, I got to hit somebody. He's just like, he's ready to go. He's never calmed down enough, but when the ball snapped, he's like a bullet. He's like a bullet. Just there he goes. And he's fun to watch. And that, you know, I'm not sure if the young man knows who I'm talking about, but he was a 3-time All-American and 2-time National Player of the Year defensively, so at Georgetown. Harris again putting pressure on Baker. He gets upended by the running back as Harris gets knocked down again as he delivers a pass out wide, incomplete. Looking for number 80 on the West side, and of course I don't have a number 80 on my roster here for the West, but well, you know how to get somebody, don't you?
They should be pretty good.
It should be pretty accurate,
numbers,
but I didn't see number 80. Maybe I missed her. Maybe, let's see. 81 was who I was looking at. That's 81. That would be Mason Graves out of South Warren. Possibly a new middle school down there in Warren County, but I know the high school program is only about 5 or 6 years old and making a huge dent in Warren County football, that's for sure. Baker takes off and runs, gets over the 35 to about the 40-yard line, and to go back over to the East with a minute 51 to play in the half.
Is there going to be more conferences that are going to get involved with you guys over the next couple of years that you know of?
I mean, here in the Commonwealth?
Yeah, here in the Commonwealth.
Well, I just talked to one of the coaches from Fayette County School System. We have been trying for a number of years to get them to want to participate, and I think it's going to take the coaches in Fayette County to probably go down to the head office, main office, and do it. We encourage everybody to want to participate and provide the opportunities for the kids. Like today, you need to be a member of the association to be able to come out here and participate, and we try to do more than just whether you compete in a state championship or you want to provide the postseason activities that we do. It's also about rules, making sure everybody's playing by the same consistent rules, safety, coaching, training, education. So we tried to mirror the good things out of the high school organizations, and we looked at all of the middle school associations and what we thought was the best to have a real organization that really improved middle school football in our state.
Ethan Smith, the ball carrier out of Belfry, dropped for no gain.
Is there any involvement at all with the high school level of Kentucky High School Athletic Association?
How we communicate with them, we're one of the kind of recognized organizations. A couple years ago, we went to the state legislature and got a House bill put together that formed a joint committee to study middle school athletics. And as a result of that, there was some regulation changes to help try to comport a better understanding for parents about who regulates middle school and high school and how it all fits together.
Montero, the ball carrier, stopped by Cross out of South Warren. So you see a South Warren representation out here pretty well. They throw over here to the near sideline. Vanover looking for number 84. That's Jordan Fox out of Corbin. Trying to get all these schools some recognition here and trying to also find out from my edification where some of these middle schools are. I've heard of some. I haven't heard of some. Drake's Creek, I just took a wild stab with a nickname of being from Warren County, and it was.
It's great, isn't it? When I started reaching out to learn about middle school and how football was played, I learned more about my state than I ever did growing up.
I know. They give it off again to Smith on the carry over the left side. He's into the clear. He'll go in standing up for an East touchdown. Well, I can tell you what, you can just tell, number one, how good a coach that Brent Jackson is, number one. Number two, his offenses, even though you have multiple formations, must be very, very simplistic in teaching it to other kids from other schools because they are executing at a very high level.
It's always impressive to watch good coaches come in and put in new systems no matter what.
Yeah.
And you really see the quality of a coach that's capable of doing that.
How hard is it for a simplistic lingo? And I would love to ask these East guys how easy was it for them to pick up what Corbin was doing defensively or offensively.
Well, with the lead that we got right now at the half, in the second half, is there going to be like a running clock? Is that rule in effect or no?
No, this is about letting the kids play, making sure everybody's getting to participate, and just gives more opportunity to have everyone get a good amount of playing time on the football field.
We're at halftime of the 8th grade game. East firmly control of this 40-0, but we've seen in all-star games too, Greg, at various levels. One team can own the first half, the opposite team can own the second half, so
that's right.
Who knows what happens. I mean, of course,
That's
you could have a game like Western Kentucky University and Marshall back on Friday. The defenses, and I know as a defensive coordinator former, you had to be paying to see that halftime score. It was like 56-49 or something ridiculous.
See if you can make some good adjustments.
Either that or throw your defensive scheme out the window or something.
Yeah, football should be like chess.
It should be. It should be
like chess.
But not like I don't know what an arena football score on the outdoor game, because that's what it looked like. Because I watched probably the majority of that first half, and I was like, defenses, did you get off the bus or something? But it was ridiculous. But as a fan, you enjoy to watch games like that. The 9-3 games are the ones that are tough to watch. But probably the best game last year of the state championship games, outside of the Collins win over Highlands in the finals, was probably the 3-0 win Belfry over Wayne County.
Yeah.
And neither team did anything bad to hurt themselves. Just defenses stood up when they needed to.
That's good to see.
It is.
It's really
it's
good
fun
to
to watch those games. So we'll even be down there. Will you be making a trip to Bowling Green this coming weekend?
I think so. I'm sitting here on my phone texting back and forth about coordinating our Kentucky teams and getting down to. It's going to be actually the Kentucky venue for our first round is going to be down at McCracken County High School. I won't be going to the high school state championship. I'll be going. We're playing in the first round. Our Kentucky
that
teams
weekend,
are playing in the first round.
You're right.
Down the Kentucky venue, we're actually hosting the first round for the Midwest.
Now,
region.
how do you select how have you selected your venues over the years you've been a host school or host team?
Well, the first year they did it, we actually held it here during this same weekend, then the last couple years it's been out, not our venue. And then this year we brought it back, so we were able to select, and McCracken County High School was kind enough to volunteer their facility. And we've got one of our board members, Carrie White, who is a freshman coach down there that helped put all it together, and they got their booster organization to come in and staff it and everything. So we're hoping it'll be we'll show some good hospitality to a Kentucky team or to a Tennessee team and a Missouri team, and then we've got Western North Carolina as well.
Okay, we were told Arkansas. That's why when you said Western North Carolina, now we got it. So
Arkansas is in your region, though, right?
Yeah,
in your region. Okay.
Arkansas is in our region, and then if the teams win out of that, they'll go down to the third round, which will be held down in Atlanta.
Okay.
So we'll be, and we expect to win, of course.
Oh yeah.
So
no doubt,
our teams will be playing Georgia and Florida.
Now, will any of these guys that we're seeing here today be a part of that Team Kentucky?
Not unless the coaches coaching the Kentucky teams. We did tryouts the same weekend of the state championship finals. From that, the teams are selected. and a lot of it is effort. Some of the players wanted to go on to play basketball and didn't necessarily want to put the time and commitment in to continue to play football into the end of December. Others, it's quite a commitment to travel around and drive multiple locations, spend lots of nights in a hotel room. So parent commitment is substantial to participate on the Kentucky team, and obviously having coached the first year doing it, it's a lot of work and effort to do it. But if you do, like our first year, we came in third, and we beat teams from Missouri and Wisconsin and Minnesota, and that trip to Missouri we took was phenomenal. Going down and we got beat after having come off a 20-hour bus ride. Stretched our legs, got about an hour practice, went and ate, and then went and played a football game against Oregon, and we were winning at half, and I think the gas ran out from a 20-hour bus ride. But then we came back and played Massachusetts, and we had to run the clock in I think the first quarter against the Massachusetts team to come in third, but we probably should have won that year. We had some damn good football players.
And that's the thing. You got that kind of commitment from a lot of your coaches, but again, we talk about youth football, middle school football, even high school football. The commitment from the kids is one thing, but the commitment from the parents is a whole different story, because a lot of those parents are there for the kids no matter what. So a lot of them are giving up days at work and things to travel.
Yeah. But it's good to hear. I went down in our concession stand, and we have the quarterback, Reese Ryan, that's a quarterback for Luston Catholic. They just lost to Highlands in the state semifinals, and they were talking about their memory of playing in the middle school football state championship here, and they had as good of memories from that experience as they did playing at high school. And so when you hear those kind of things, you think, as I remember, one of the teams that came to play in the semifinals was Barron County, and I had multiple parents calling saying their high school program hadn't participated in the state championship at high school for like 20 years, and for them to be able to qualify and come to the state semifinals in Lexington for the middle school was historic, and I think the entire community came to Lexington to support their middle school team. So, watching that, getting those opportunities and memories at middle school, you may not repeat it at high school. Now, we have a number of teams, as we see, like we talked about, Belfry and some others, that build those dominant teams and have a great feeder system. But hopefully it's building memories of a lifetime.
Right. And that's the thing. I talked to some of the kids from Belfry up there in Lexington, and they were just happy to be playing football.
Yeah.
Of course, sports in the mountains is a whole lot different than, say, in Louisville or here even in central Kentucky. It's they basically just live and die with their teams, their fans, and you talk about closing the town down.
Yeah.
Those small communities like Belfry, like Corbin, like down there at Letcher, they all just seem, whenever their teams start playing in postseason play, it doesn't matter what level, the whole town's there. And that's what that's, again, we talk about small colleges being a sense of community and family. High school and middle school sports are basically the same way.
Yeah, and football is more than just simply what you see out on a football field. It's all of that, and it's good to see. It's good memories. When I talk to some of them that have been through here, like I said, they talk about the friendships they have with kids that they're competing against. And I've watched from actually some players that played here for the first time play at the high school level, compete during the game, but afterwards they were friends, and it was a different type of competition. I know UK and Louisville last night, you saw, wanting to fight and all this and everything else. What I like to see is you show it out on a football field, but then you've learned that mutual respect. And that's when they're lifelong friends, and it's really good to see.
You mentioned that, and then after the game, we in the pregame, like you said, you're talking about the fights and stuff, but after the game, I saw on one of those cameras, I saw Kyle Bolin go over to David Bouye, and give him a big hug.
That's because they're teammates from Lexington Catholic.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, with the rivalry there, you know.
There are some
Good to see
rivalries
that.
across the country that are pretty ugly.
Yeah.
You know, and
Louisville, UK.
it's still pretty bad.
It's a good rivalry.
It's still pretty bad, but it's nothing like Oklahoma State, Oregon State. We can go right across the country. USC, UCLA, just right across the country. That they're well, heck, we can even show even the guys and women that are going to the Ivy League schools, Harvard and Yale. They really don't like each other. You know, so you go through all the, I tell you, it gets bad. Well, a lot of lawyers come out of those two schools. But, you talk about everything. Of course, you've seen some huge rivalries at the high school and college level down in Texas, too. So, but I thought one of the best things, and we'll talk about this, about family stuff, too. When the tragedy happened several years ago down at Texas A&M with the bonfire and stuff, the University of Texas came to what they consider their most bitter rival outside of Oklahoma, and really rallied around that university to help whatever they could, whether healing psychologically, emotionally, financially, whatever they could do to help. The University of Texas helped Texas A&M. So that's what we're building here.
And you've seen that whenever there was a locker room in Kentucky that burned down. You remember that? And all their equipment burned down.
I'm trying to think of where that was. It was up in the.
You had all these teams. All these schools in Kentucky start donating helmets to the schools.
One of the most rewarding things I did was when Morgan County got hit with the tornadoes up in West Liberty. I went back to the opening of that field, and the number of people I saw with jackets and shirts from other schools, not just in the neighborhood of Morgan County, but from across the area and across the country or across the state of Kentucky, was just phenomenal. It was absolutely ridiculous. And so that's what we're trying to build here with this stuff. And I know you guys work all the time. Last night at the banquet, I told you looked tired, and you said, "I am," but it's been all well worth it.
When you hear the parents and you hear the kids, like Mr. Ryan said about the memories, then think, maybe putting all this crazy time in, volunteering, especially over Thanksgiving weekend, as my wife says, 7 years of Thanksgiving weekends up here in Frankfort. We all put our time in, and it is quite special to see the coaching staffs, everybody out here volunteering their time. It takes a lot. It really does, and they give back. They give to these kids, and maybe you don't realize, these kids won't realize it until a few years later. Is what I was trying to tell about my head high school coach. I still keep in contact and have great memories of those people that were kind of did things right for you and maybe put you in the right direction or gave you that little push or that little edge or little saying that made you be a better person or do something a little bit better, and those are special people, and hopefully everybody that's putting that time in here this weekend, somebody will do it and a bell ring someplace and say we thank you.
And I wouldn't venture to guess that probably about 25 to 30% of these kids probably have no idea what they're going to do after high school, if they're going to go to college, if they're going to go into the workforce, if they're going to go to technical school or whatever. But I'd say about 20% of these kids may venture into the teaching field and wind up being coaches as well, and then be like Brent Jackson and wind up several of their members that they coached back on their coaching staff as well.
We hope they learn from the good coaching staff that they've been able to be coached by.
And he's just the one example. We keep talking about Coach Jackson for the East Squad out of Corbin, but simply because he's a Hall of Fame coach, just named last night, and just by his reaction, he had no idea it was coming.
No, he didn't, and it was good to see. The year before, we had Coach Dwight Engel be named in the Hall of Fame. I guess I've had the privilege of being named in the Hall of Fame. A couple of my board members give me a hard time saying I wasn't the first person named. And then Coach Philip Hawkins, who's now moved on to the high school. He's the head high school coach down at Dawson, Louisville.
I was trying to think. I knew it was in Louisville. I could not remember where he was.
Yeah. He and I both coached that first Kentucky team going all the way down to San Antonio, and getting to do some really, really neat things. It's quite special. When I look now at the kids that are going on now playing college football that we got to coach, it's a good feeling.
It's a good feeling. Coach Hawk is maybe listening and watching back in Louisville, and I tell you what, he scared me to death down at Bowling Green a couple of years ago, and that's probably why I got all this gray hair now, because he reached and grabbed me from behind. I didn't have a clue who had a hold of me, but he is a character too, an absolute character. If you want a good laugh, be around Coach Hawk. He's something else.
Yeah, he is.
He's something else.
He's fun to be around, but
you gotta have those kind of personalities too. You can't have the ones that are serious all the time, right?
I'm a serious guy. That's why I get stuck with all the paperwork now. And I've given up my coaching career, and now it's this job's kind of like almost like work. And so when I get to see the kids having fun and the parents with smiles and the parents taking pictures, I remember why we're doing this insanity.
Well, you call it insanity, but a lot of these folks, as you mentioned before, enjoy their time. And the 4 years I've been around doing this with William, I've enjoyed my time. I've gotten treated about as well. I gained 5 pounds this past year with the folks from Belfry texting me if we came down and did a game, what they were going to cook us for tailgate. I gained 5 pounds just with the list they gave me.
That's
and
good.
another 3 pounds when they gave me the list of desserts. So but we've built some good relationships. Like I said, the folks from Corbin, Letcher County, Bowling Green have all come up and said something to us over the last couple of years that I've been doing it.
But as you should see, I remember when I thought we were crazy when we put this together, and when I looked out and these teams line up,
mm-hmm.
and you see the helmets from all the different schools that are members of an association that started of a bunch of coaches getting together in a room and thinking, can we do something
outside the box?
Outside the box, and one thing leads to another, and it's good to see the Commonwealth do things that other states don't have, and hopefully these kids will go on to make our Commonwealth a better place.
Well, and the thing is too, we've got some kids here that I've learned about that have been academically recognized in the state legislature for their stuff they've done in the classroom, as well as in their communities too, not just on the football field.
Yeah, when we went and did the middle school legislative commission, we had Coach Jackson actually came in and testified for us. We had him present, because you hear all this stuff about football and athletics in middle school and whether it takes away in the classroom. And one of the things that he said that I'm a firm believer in is the athletics actually helps build more dedication to doing better in the classroom. And he said their school system has seen their GPA level go up by the kids that participate in their middle school football program.
Well, it gives them something to do outside of the classroom, which keeps them then focused. If I got to do this, if I want to play football or basketball or whatever, I've got to get it done in the classroom too, or I got to stay out of trouble outside of the school building in the community. So it teaches them a lot of great lessons off of that, and I'm a firm believer in that too.
We should raise the bar. So it's good to see the NCAA raise the bar up, and hopefully it'll push that work ethic in the classroom as well.
Greg, you want to stick around for the third quarter, or you got things you got to do?
Well, William always gets me to come up here, so in my waning days in this organization, I thought I'd give back, but I'm going to turn these headphones
The waning
back.
days, oh boy, I find that very hard to believe. I get the feeling you enjoy doing what you're doing, even though you say you're crazy.
I do. I'm hoping to go down to next year, Furman University. My third son's playing D1 football down at Furman. He's a running back, and he's got to benefit from all of these post-game activities. And so I'm hoping to see some good college football on Saturday.
Well, here's a question. Ask him what a Paladin is. I know that's the one thing that's haunted everybody for years.
It's a special night. See, he played for Lexington Catholic Knights.
Okay.
And so now he's a Paladin, which is – it's kind of like the Navy SEALs, like SEAL Team 6 for the Knights.
Okay.
It's their special organization.
I knew we'd find somebody that knew the answer to that one. So now all I got to do now on my bucket list to check off is find out what a Billiken is.
Okay, Neil.
See, I have no life, man. I research mascot names. That's it. Nice defensive play by the kick recovers team of the East. Here's a pass out to the flats to
Good job. Thank you.
that is Kim Wright. He's stopped in the backfield by number, I believe that was the outside linebacker on the far side for the East over there. And I can't see the number over there. I want to get, but Greg, a great guy, Greg Mitchell, a great guy, but he kept using the word crazy, and he may have thought he was nuts, but what he's got it started here is turning into something very, very special in a short period of time.
He's a great guy, isn't he?
He is, and I bet if he's used that word crazy twice today in our interview, he's used it 1,000 times over the last couple of days here. Here's a pass out into the flat to number 10 for the West. That is Elijah Mattingly out of Williamsburg, and he dragging that left shoulder, which is not good.
Let's get back to our Twitter board real quick. And
got a bunch, I bet.
Yeah. T. Ralston says, watching the 8th grade All-Stars on PrepSpin. Says, let's turn it around in the second half. Yakari Baker, number 14, West All-Stars.
Well, he's been under pressure all day, and right now we have Cameron Harrison from South Warren in at the quarterback spot in the shotgun formation.
The Belfry folks are sending us pictures, too, from them watching in the stands over in Richmond.
That'll work.
I like that.
Harrison throwing deep. It is intercepted.
Ooh, nice.
By number 16 for the East squad. And I've been waiting to say his last name, Bobby Vinegar, out of Ramsey Middle School.
By number 16, Vinegar.
Been waiting all day long to say his name, and I got it. Finally, the opportunity. And a nice interception because he came out of nowhere off his coverage and as the right corner.
Also on Bradley Wolf says, PrepSpin, let's get that photo website one more time. That's Mesmer, MESMER, photo.com.
East back in the offensive formation. Double tight, wishbone. They turn. Give it off to Ethan Smith out of Belfry. On the tackle for the West side.
Austin Field says, shout out to my fellow teammates Avery Browning, Justin Barker, and Ethan Smith.
Pete Cross out of South Warren, number 55 in white. On the stop.
James Kennedy says, peace, love, and hair grease.
Is that what he said? Seriously?
Yes.
Okay. Now, see, I have to alert our listeners and viewers out there. William will throw stuff out like that at me, and it won't be written down anywhere.
No,
so I have to make sure it's for real said. So I'm going to check it out while I'm down here. I see you made it up.
No, sir.
I didn't see it on the Twitter there. Come on. Always playing.
You gotta scroll down.
Always playing mind games with me. Gain of yard for the fullback for the east side. They turn to give it off here on the off tackle play. So number 84, Jordan Fox on the carry. First down into the West territory at the 42-yard line.
Tate Smith following us now. Thank you, Tate.
Well, again, we had offers to come down and do games at Belfry, Letcher County Central, Corbin. Want to hear from the other folks across the other side of the state.
Well, you're forgetting, Meade County. And
Meade County, I forgot did offer, but we want to go
Letcher
down.
County Central.
Give up the middle to the fullback for the east side as they try to grind it out here in the third quarter.
Of course, everybody in Central Kentucky knows who we are and wants us around, and that's always a good thing.
Ethan Smith on the carry for the fullback. Sorry.
All the Lexington schools and surrounding counties.
Mm-hmm.
We're pretty popular in the Lexington metro.
Well, evidently
area.
I'm pretty popular down in Corbin.
Well, that's
just for the voiceover of the catch by
because
Dylan Sams.
You kind of look like Colonel Sanders a little bit there with your rug that you
folks. I do not have any facial hair. Give it off to Smith. The flag flies on behind the play. And in the area of offensive holding.
Shout out to the East All-Star Eric Webb, number 58, says Tate Smith. We got you, bud.
Eric Webb out of Louisa. Home of the Bulldogs, Lawrence County High School. The high school up there. As you can tell, I have a lot of time on my hands. I'm looking to find out who's where and nicknames.
We're going to repeat second down here, it looks like.
Holding behind the play. It'll be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. And move it back into East territory at their own 48. So it'll be 2nd down and 20 for the blue jerseyed East squad, who lead it 40-0 here in the third quarter with 5:30 to play. They give it off to the fullback Smith again.
Again, everything, they're keeping up with downs, but they are not keeping up with balls to go, or yards to go, excuse me. Why, I'm not sure, but we're getting data from the scoreboard operator. They're sending it into us electronically, and so they're doing everything on that. We just got the overlay for our scoreboard graphic using their data. So apologize about that.
Wishbone formation, double tight. They turn, they fake it. Here's the end around, and Kane from North Pulaski gets back into West territory down at the 45-yard line. Tackled by number 76, Gregory Smith out of Paducah. 3rd and 12 for the East squad. As Kane gets the play from his East head coach, Brent Jackson. They turn, give it off here on the near side to Fox. Gets a block from his running mate back in the backfield there. Jordan Fox gets down to the 35-yard line. And just shy of the first down by a yard, and the West holds and takes over on downs with 3:42 in the clock running.
Looks like they are doing a continuous
clock, and I assume that may be with discussion, maybe with the two head coaches. So the East trail are leading 40-0. They led by that score at the end of the half, the first half, and they bring the wide receiver in motion. That is number 12. He cuts it back to the left. In trouble. Down he goes inside the 30. That's Chance Staten out of Somerset. Dropped for a loss. It'll be 2nd down and about 15 from the 30-yard line. And on the stop, Luke Collette out of Union.
You got some information for the Belfry fans out there is that your game will be broadcast down in Bowling Green. Your state championship game will be broadcast. We're going to have it on KHSAA.TV. So
give it off to
.com.tv.
Cuts it off to the right side. Gets up back over the 35 to the almost the 40-yard line. That game's at noon Eastern Standard Time, correct?
Yeah, because it's 11 there.
That's the first game of the Commonwealth Gridiron Bowl.
And we will have multiple cameras set up there. I believe we're going to have 6 total cameras going on at once in that facility, and it's going to be electrifying, that's for sure.
Owensboro and Highlands, I believe, is game number 2 of that first day, and then the final game.
I think Highlands plays on the second day.
You do? They'll throw it downfield just out of reach as Harrison looks down for his.
But I'm not sure. I could be wrong.
Actually looks down for Garrett Lovett of Callaway County, just over his outstretched hand.
Also knows we're doing all 6 games for the KHSAA.
I'll be down there on Saturday joining William somehow, some way, and some shape, form, or fashion aggravating Gary Ball.
You might have to buy you a ticket, man, because I don't know if I can. Folks, they'll let you in, man.
Do you feel the love? Man, I'm telling you. I drive up all the way to Reading, Pennsylvania with this guy, and he can't even get me into a lowly state championship football game. Wow. Harrison back to throw in the pocket. Lets it fly across the middle. Incomplete. West fans wanted pass interference, and I'm not so sure that they might not have an argument there.
You know, there's media credentials that we have to fill out, and I've got 2. I need somebody to help me run wires, brother. First string's doing all the cameras down there.
Well, if you can give me insurance, I can quit this other gig that I've got and quickly come on down there. You know, get my age, man, you need some insurance, you know.
Well, I mean, you're working for a school, man. Nobody can compare to that type of insurance.
Oh, yeah,
you know
they
what I'm
can.
saying?
Oh, yeah, they can.
Maybe Walgreens or something.
But pass was incomplete, so the East takes over back on downs on the 40-yard line of the West. As we're under 5 seconds to play in the third. Through 3 quarters of action, the East leads over the West 40-0 in the 8th grade edition of the 7th annual Kentucky Middle School Football Association East-West All-Star game here in Frankfort on PrepSpin.com.
We will take a time out, folks. We're going to be right back here.
All S, all P, all O, R T, S. Pick it up at all sports. Pick it up at all sports.
In Fayette Mall on Facebook and Twitter, locally owned and operated since 1972.
Back to Alumni Stadium on the campus of Kentucky State University in Frankfort. Darren Douglas, William Warfield.
Well, they started that up quick, didn't they?
Yeah.
They didn't give us no time out.
We want to thank Greg Mitchell, the president of the Kentucky Middle School Football Association, here spending time with us through the second quarter and complete halftime and part of the third quarter.
People reaching out to us by Facebook too.
Jordan Curry says, shout out to all the Belfry boys, especially my boyfriend number 12, Avery Browning. Tate Smith, shout out to East All-Star Eric Webb, number 58. Ball handed off and dropped in the backfield is Jordan Fox. Actually, that's the quarterback, Wiley Kane. Drop for a loss. It'll be third and about 15.
Whew. I'm going to go home and get something good to eat and watch some Netflix tonight. Man, I've been overworked, brother.
Hey, I've been working here too.
Whew.
Wide receiver to the left side. Shotgun formation with Kane up under center. Split backs behind the quarterback. They bring the receiver back in motion and give it to him on the jet sweep, and he's dropped for a loss.
Did you make any update on the Kentucky game? I'm kind of curious.
Yeah.
Who won?
Are you having issues picking them up there?
I
On the
tried.
stop for the west side. Was Chris Shelburne out of Spencer County, number 34 in white. Kane, missed handoff, cuts it up, dropped for another loss of a yard. In on the tackle for the West, number 9, Chandler Sylvie out of Logan.
On the tackle, number 9, Sylvie.
So fourth down and about 18 to go for the East side, who lead it 40-0 in this 8th grade contest of the East-West All-Star game. They give it off. This is Blevin Campbell of Knox Central. He's dropped right at the line of scrimmage by number 20.
On the carry, number 14, Campbell.
That is Dakota Redondo. And they gave Cross a piece of that tackle as well.
Low-scoring game for the
Ooh,
Wildcats.
look out.
They won 58-38.
Figured Providence would slow them down as much as they could.
58-38. That's probably their worst offensive game of the season right there, but they still win by 20.
Yeah, it is for the Cats, but they continue to hold teams under 50.
Has anybody scored over 40 on them yet?
Yeah, Boston U got 65.
Oh, okay.
It's the only team to score over 50 on them. They turn, give it off to the running back. This is Wright. It's off to the left side.
Right on the carry.
It's a yard. On the stop for the East defense
Sound like a
was 63 A.J. Castle out of Anderson County.
Sound like a high school score, don't it? 58-38.
So second down and 9 after the gain of 1 for Wright.
Remember the good days of the NBA when you had like 120 to 118?
Because no defense was played. And still no defense is played. Baker angles right, still running. Now throw it, and it's off the hands of the defender who stepped in front of the intended receiver, number 81, Mason Graves of South Warren, the intended receiver. Knocked away by Mason Lane from Shelby Valley.
What'd you do? Open up a wasp nest?
I don't know where he came from. He just all of a sudden he was flying in my face. Which is uncool. If I get stung, you're on your own, brother.
You allergic?
Yes, sir. Very much so. 2 receivers to either side. Baker in the shotgun formation. Drops back, throws across the middle. It's caught. That's number 81 again for the west side. Mason Graves of South Warren. A catch of about 15 yards and a first down for actually number 36. I apologize. That's Garrett Lovett of Callaway.
Bradley Wolf says Dylan Pinnock likes to play duck hunt.
Okay. You can tell we're in a game that's lopsided score-wise because we're throwing out video games of the players, players that they enjoy to play, and Baker goes down again in the backfield.
Hashtag duck hunt.
Luke Collette of Union. Along with Mark Rumpke of Lexington Catholic in on the tackle for the east side. Rumpke, number 63. They also get Boswell. Actually, Rumpke's not on the field. It is Boswell. And heck on, that thing's
massive, isn't it?
Bugging me to death. I know that.
There's a big old wasp flying around Darren Douglas' head.
Don't you swat at him either. Harrison back to throw. Incomplete. Out looking for number 10 out there for the east, or for the west side. Elijah Mattingly of Williamsburg.
Tate, appreciate the score update there. Tate tweeting in, said Kentucky won by 20. Yes, sir.
So it's 3rd and about 20. Harrison off to the right. Annika Harris has him. Annika Harris out of South Pulaski with the sack. And now just watch him, William. He's a fun guy to watch. Number 4 there. You see him pacing around, just walking around. Coach hollers at him. He stops for just a second just to hear what the coach is saying. Now he says, okay, now time to go to war.
Speaking of war, that was a good game yesterday. War Eagle and Roll Tide, wasn't it?
Till the 4th quarter.
Says Javon Martin is a good dancer on the west side.
Harrison back to throw for the West. Steps up in the pocket, in trouble. Hits Smith
intercepted.
across the middle to 30.
Nope.
35, 40, 45. Breaks a tackle of Browning, but Browning able to get enough of him to knock him off his feet, and the East offense will come back on the field.
Close to being intercepted there, wasn't it? It was tipped around a little bit.
Yeah. So the East will have it, leading it 40-0 with 3:35 to play in this one.
Did I ever tell you look like the Ohio State mascot, the Buckeye?
Now, folks, you watched us back at the beginning of November with the state Final Four up there in Lexington, the Lexington Catholic and Bryan Station. You've listened to us for 2 games today. Who's been the better one of the two? Who's not fired a shot across his bow? Me. I've been a good guy.
Yeah, well, that's because
I told you.
signing the check.
Now it comes out. Aha. Shotgun formation with Vanover at quarterback now for the East. He gives it off. I believe that is Ethan Smith for Belfry, from Belfry for the East squad. Gain of 2. Stopped by the West squad, number 34, Chris Shelburne out of Spencer, along with number 51 for Bowling Green, Javon Martin.
So I got this planned out. I say we go to Belfry next season. We do that tailgate with them, right?
Okay.
But I think that we should set up
Give it off on the misdirection.
I think we should set up some kind of contest. Whoever brings us the best dish, tailgating dish, wins. And it can't be seafood because I'm not a seafood guy.
Well, you can't be choosy.
I can't do seafood, although they what did they say, something about Kentucky crawfish?
That was down at
that was Letcher County, wasn't it?
I don't know if it was Letcher or
Kentucky crawfish.
Or can't remember. They give it off again on the dive. This time, or actually Vanover on the quarterback keeper.
This one's all but over, brother. Time is the only thing that stands in between victory.
Been that way for a while.
Well, I mean, if you look back at it, it's been that way since the first score, right?
Mm-hmm.
West has been blanked today.
Well, in the West, unfortunately, ran into a team of East players today that just had all the answers. They give it off to Smith. Angles out to the right side. He has room down the right sideline. In pursuit is number 32 for the West side. That's Tristan Wilson of Drake's Creek.
Mm-hmm.
Knocks him down inside the 10, about the 8. We're under a minute, now under 40 seconds to go in this one. The East leads 40-0, and I think they may just take a knee.
I think you're right. That's gonna do it. No post-game show today, folks. We're just we're gonna pack up and get up out of here. And, I mean, there's really not a lot to talk about other than East won the game 40-0, right?
Yeah, the East victorious in both games in shutout fashion. The 8th grade completes the sweep for the East side by a score of 40-0, and the East victorious in the 7th grade game 13-0 is the two teams will get on the midfield stripe and come out and shake hands. And
all right, Darren
again,
Douglas.
William, it's been fun. It's been real. Hadn't been real fun though with you, but no. Every time we get a chance to do something together, it's a lot of fun, and I hopefully will see you down in Bowling Green at least on Saturday. I don't see myself being able to make it on Friday unless something really drastically changes.
Well,
but,
you know, that's very unfortunate, Darren.
You know, yeah, and you say that with a whole lot of sarcasm in your voice there. But, you know, I look forward to getting down there on Saturday. Unfortunately, I'll miss probably the best game of the 6 when Belfry and Central play, but that'll be just fine.
Good luck to Belfry down there.
Yeah, good luck to Belfry. Good luck to all 6 teams playing in the state championship Gridiron Bowl down at Fikes Field at Western Kentucky University.
I'm gonna wear red underneath my KHSA stuff.
Okay, whatever you want.
Well,
Knock yourself out.
Let me set this straight. I don't work for the KHSA. I'm a contractor for the KHSA.
Right.
So I can wear a little red underneath.
Like
my
I said, knock
shirt,
yourself
right?
out. So for William Warfield on production, some color, Greg Mitchell, and all the fine staff of the Kentucky Middle School Football Association, the final score for the 8th grade East-West All-Star game was the East 40 and the West nothing. So until our basketball broadcast begin here on PrepSpin, join William, though, and all the folks I told you about on the KHSAA website, khsaa.org, and tune in to click the icon that says KHSAA Television, and you'll get and select which game you're wanting to watch, and we'll go from there on that. But, William, good luck in that endeavor down there in Bowling Green. So for all those fine folks, so long from the capital city of Frankfort for the East-West Kentucky Middle School Football Association All-Star Game.
We will keep it here just for a second while they do these awards. I need you to carry a couple things down to my car.
And for our defensive player,
myself down there.
You can get a monitor and that camera. I can get the rest of it in one trip.
The coach for the East is Brett Jackson. All right. MVP, runner-up. Number 3, out of Bowling Green, Miles Smith. And our defensive player out of South Warren, Keith Cross.
Ouch.
The coach for the runner-up team is Mark Carter.
That's like giving you a hard time, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So long, everybody.